I feel like this situation is now going to create a Me Too movement within the rap community specifically, which is pull up, pull up, pull up. Coucou, what's up? It's your girl Kadija, aka the musingknomad, and I'm back again with another girl. It's been a while. I hope y'all are doing well. Like always, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and let's get started. As you can already see by the title, I'm going to be talking about surviving black men and the cases of Keke Palmer, Megan Thee Stallion, and Cassie, and what they've experienced and what they're continuing to experience based off of the unfortunate circumstances that they've undergone based on the men that they've affiliated with and that have impacted their lives significantly as to date. So in the case of Keke Palmer, we're going to focus mostly just on domestic violence, right? And I'm going to link anything that I cite, I'm going to link the article to that below. So based on a study, so this is the status of black women in the United States. This is an executive summary, and it gives statistics about black women in the United States and the experiences that they go through versus white women or non-black women, basically. And in that study, it states that 40% of black women will experience domestic violence across their lifetime, compared to 30.2% of white women. Black women are 3 times more likely to die as a result of intimate partner violence abuse than white women. Black women face the highest rates of domestic violence in the country. And unfortunately, once they've already undergone these situations, there is a stigma that is left behind that they also have to face when it comes to disclosing their experiences to the world. And we are already aware of what intersectionality is. And if you're not aware, intersectionality is having compound oppressions at the same time. So for example, you as a black woman are going to experience the system, the world differently than a white woman would, because she doesn't have the compounded oppression of being black, right? So we already know as a woman, white women, you're oppressed within patriarchy. We know that, okay? However, okay, you get a benefit because you're white. Whereas the black woman is going to feel further oppression based off of that. And now we're going to calculate education, we're going to calculate finances, all of those things which create more burdens. And with Keke's case, we know that she is wealthy, we know that she is known, so she has access, she has influence. Nevertheless, that does not take away from the fact that regardless of their status, black women still are getting 40% more abuse than women across the scale in the United States. And I'm sure across the world it's even worse, right? So when Keke, she didn't come out, she didn't make a statement, she didn't write a letter, she didn't have an interview. She filed a case, she went through the courts because she wanted to protect herself and her child because of what she experienced by the hands of her ex. So her ex has been beating her, came to her house unannounced, and luckily for her, she has it on tape, so she can use that against him when she has to go to court. And luckily for her, she's been granted temporary custody for her child. And I hope that once the case is finalized, that she'll get full custody for her child with regards to what he put her through, right? And we know that in these cases, oftentimes people are going to blame the woman. The woman is always going to be the victim or the villain when it comes to situations like this, because regardless of what happens, regardless of the proof that you put out, it's still going to be, girl, what'd you do? It's your fault. What made him prone to want to hit you, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We know how that goes, right? And I think it's interesting how his brother, I'm not even going to disclose their names because it doesn't matter. I think his name is Darius, but his brother, who used to be on Insecure, came out to basically villainize Keke. And then the brother, or Keke's partner, came to, I think it was TMZ or another outlet to try to make himself seem innocent, because Keke's mom came out to say, girl, okay? And I just think it's interesting now that we know what he's done. People have dug into his family history, and his mom has a restraining order against his dad for the domestic violence that she underwent. And it's a shame that not only did you witness your mom experiencing that by the hands of your father, you chose to follow the same path and also be an abuser. And now you want to play the victim, because oftentimes, again, when it comes back to patriarchy, whatever a man says goes, and we're going to look at them as the victims, or even if they are the villain, it's like, oh, okay, we're going to give you grace because you have the propensity and the opportunity and the possibility to change and grow. Whereas a woman, one flaw, boom, you're ousted. So with regards to her case, it's a shame that she has gone through what she's gone through. I commend her for fighting to get custody of her child and keeping her held high with regard to this situation, because the public scrutiny that she's going through and the shame, unfortunately, that she's going through it's a shame, and it's really sad to see. Next, we're going to move on to Cassie Ventura. Never knew her last name. So Cassie has filed a case against Diddy, and in less than 24 hours, he paid that off real quick. And in the case, she alluded to the fact that she was sex trafficked by him. She was forced into basically having sexual relations and also getting raped because he had a kink for seeing things like that, and many other grotesque things that he has, or that she filed against him. For me, the swiftness, the speed that it took for him to basically settle this case proves that he's guilty. Granted, I don't have the truths to these. I don't have the proof to this. But according to the people that are talking, okay, his ex-employees who are coming forth, Kid Cudi who's coming forth, and several other artists connected to him who are coming forth to say, yeah, this dude is a monster, okay? It's giving me Russell Simmons. It's giving me that. And this is not something that is unique to Diddy, okay? He's just gotten away with it more. And I feel like this situation is now going to create a Me Too movement within the rap community specifically, which has already kind of happened, but I think this is really going to open people's eyes to want to dig further, because unfortunately, when people get access and power and money, and I'm not saying that this is to negate what they've done or to basically excuse what they've done. Absolutely not. But I'm just saying access, power, and money can bring you great things. And great, obviously, is not great, okay? But it's a shame that we've witnessed these situations happen time and time and time again. Look at the Epstein case, or that white man, I can't think of his name right now, the one that's in jail, that was a, is he in jail? I know he's found guilty. I can't think of his name. What is his name? It's at the tip of my tongue. But he was a director that raped a whole bunch of white women, okay? And the only reason, honestly, we're talking about him really is because of the white men that came out to say something. Because had these been black men that are coming out to say something, I don't think his case would have been handled the way it was handled, or if he would have been found guilty, right? And in saying this, back to the point of power, access, and money can push people, especially men, to do things because they have the access, they have the funds to do things and silence people. We see that in the case of, let's say, Bill Cosby. I love The Cosby Show, and unfortunately, I can no longer watch it. I can no longer enjoy it because I know that Bill Cosby is a serial rapist, right? And then if we put in Seventh Heaven, I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but the father, the I don't know his name, the guy that played the father in Seventh Heaven is a pedophile. But one of the things that I think is interesting when we talk about those two cases, and interestingly enough, those two individuals worked together. They used to have a show back in the 70s, I believe. But it's funny how, because the Seventh Heaven dude is white, his situation is just kind of like hush hush. No one's really talking about it because he has the benefit, the privilege of being white, whereas Bill Cosby's, we're talking about it. But both of them should get the same din, right? We should equally villainize them because they're villains at the end of the day. But I'm saying all of this to say, again, access, power, money can enable people to do whatever they want without fear of repercussions. And it's unfortunate that Cassie experienced what she experienced with this guy. And it's a shame. And I do find that Diddy is a predator and tends to go after younger women. And that's why me personally, I've always had an issue with men dating younger women, and even vice versa. But there is always some kind of power dynamic in that kind of situation, right? And I think she detailed in the case, in the suit, that she felt like this protective father figure love from him, right? Which quickly changed, where he showed his true character, his true nature of being a violent, despicable human being. And again, more will come out, more suits are being filed against him, so we'll hear more. And I know right now he's not really talking and he's losing some things, but at the end of the day, he still has the power and the money to go unscathed, basically. So right now he can just hush people, and it is what it is. And I think one of the good things that Cassie did here, unfortunately, because we know how women are judged when it comes to cases like this, right? It would have been hard for her to prove this as a criminal case. So she went about it as a civil suit, which made more sense for her after the time that had passed. And also she was able to get, a larger sum. I think what I heard was that she ended up getting 6 figures, which I think is good compared to the 30 million that she was asking for. And obviously, again, if he were to agree to that as swiftly as he did, it's showing that he was guilty in my eyes, okay? With regards to these cases, I'm going to talk next about Megan Thee Stallion. I'm not going to go too in depth. If you guys would like for me to go in depth with each individual story that I'm touching on today, let me know below. But yeah, let me know your thoughts below as well, okay? So we're going to move on to Megan Thee Stallion. We've seen homegirl go through so much in these past years of losing her parents, her grandparents, and being in the eye and having friends, partners that fail you and stab you in the back time and time again. And this little minuscule little leprechaun, who I'm so grateful for, is in jail, and I hope he rots there, okay? Who shot at her and thought that he could get away with it. Mind you, she didn't even file a case against him, right? The state of California did that on her behalf, thankfully, okay? But yet still, back to going to how Black women are villainized, and they're blamed for the things that happen to them. So the likes of Drake, 50 Cent, so many people came out, and women as men as well. Many women, especially the male identified, okay, who love the patriarchy, who love the misogyny, okay, came to basically tarnish her name, to vilify her and make her seem like she's the villain in a situation where she was harmed. She could have lost her life. And now she is being vulnerable. She came out with her song Cobra, and I watched the video, and she has a phrase in there that she says, "This is a depressed pussy," and I have basically I've been trying to deal with the suffering that I'm feeling, the depression, everything I'm going through by alcohol. And she's being so vulnerable in this, and people are still having negative things to say about her. It's tough, and it's sad to see that as a Black woman, the cloak of being strong, which me personally, I don't mind that phrase. Okay, I like the phrase, but I understand in so many ways why some women have an issue with it, because it dehumanizes you at the end of the day. It's saying that you can bear the brunt of all of these things that are coming out at you, even if it's not your fault, okay? Because you're strong, you can handle it. And here she is saying, yo, I've been going through some things, I've been put through some things, and yet again, you guys will still find a way to make her feel like shit. And it's sad to see. I'm disgusted by it, and I truly wish the best for her. I wish the best for Cassie. I hope that she's healed and she's healing and seeking the therapy that she needs. I hope the same for Megan Thee Stallion, and also for Keke Palmer, okay? You guys are going to rise above this. I stand with you, okay? We got your back, okay, girl? Anyways, so those are my thoughts with regard to these issues. Again, if you guys want me to go into more detail, do let me know. And yeah, check out my other videos that are coming up. I'm going to be doing some weekly vlogs / vlogmas-ish, and trying hauls, travel vlogs, all that good stuff. So again, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll be back soon for a new video. Peace out, bisous, and hugs.
Pull up, I pull up.